And I have a special show today because I'm really excited about it. There's a lot of tech involved. My special guest today is Mr. Greg Stoutenburgh. He is the founder of Epica Medical Innovations, and he has created this high-res portable CT scanner. And I'll leave it at that because this show we're going to get into the details of how it works. This is affordable diagnostic imagery, but the fact that it's affordable for someone like me, a day practitioner, that is amazing. But without further ado, Greg, thanks so much for being on the show.
Thank you very much, Michael. I'm really happy to be here with you. I love talking about this and this technology and the stories behind it. It's what gets me out of bed every day. So.
I can tell because when we met and we discussed things, you're very passionate about that, and that's what makes a great product. But Greg, you're involved in the veterinary world, and so you're not a veterinarian. So why don't you tell our viewers and listening audience just your story? How did all this begin?
Well, it depends on how detailed you want to be, but when I was working my way through college, I bought my girlfriend a snake. The snake got sick. I happened to be in Long Beach, California, where I was told the greatest reptile veterinarian in the world was. His name was Doug Mader. He wrote the book, Reptile Medicine and Surgery. I went in, Doug diagnosed and started treating the snake, which later died. It turned out my bill at the end of this was $450, which to me at the time was $4 million.
Yeah, can I ask what year that was?
That was 1989.
Wow, yeah.
It was really funny, but I couldn't pay the bill. So I said, Doug, I don't know what I'm going to do. And I think he had worked this whole scenario out. And he said, you're going to come in on Saturday. That's what you're going to do.
Oh my God.
And work this thing off.
That's awesome.
And in about 6 weeks, he trained me to be a tech. And then they offered me a position living upstairs from the practice, doing overnight treatments, and then working during the day as a tech. That's how I paid my way through school. I was a freshman when that happened, and I went all the way through grad school, eventually managing this practice. But then I started up practices. I did consulting. I built about a dozen practices in my career. I've worked with somewhere around 100 practices in one way or another, consulting, managing, owning, operating, doing various things. I did up to 10 practices at a time with outsourced management groups. And, later in my stint at doing that kind of work, because I did that through 2012, I was doing really mostly specialty practices. In 2005, I also started working with Sound Technologies at the time, which later became Sound Eklund, as Sound acquired Eklund. And I was involved in bringing some of the first digital radiography systems to market. And there I was responsible for development of new technologies. My perspective within the veterinary field really gave me a unique ability to develop not just the hardware and software, but the concepts around these technologies and the service elements of it and those kind of things. I got to do some really cool stuff there, and we developed software like OrthoPlan and Helix, which were the first orthopedic planning software in veterinary medicine. I got to spearhead all of those things and really control the development of them, and it really directed the industry in some ways, and it got me into the exciting parts of doing this. And it was things I came across at Sound while I was there that really inspired me to want to make CT better because I saw some weaknesses in it or things that I thought could be, CT is a great technology, and don't let me say anything else, but there are limitations to what it allows us to do in veterinary practice because of the resolution, because of the difficulty of use, because of the costs associated with it, the space required. And at the end of the day, you get a CT image and the resolution only allows you to see so much. So there's always an applications versus value element that only allows certain practices to reach this technology. And my goal was to bring those things together. So if we can have a lot more applications but give a lot more value, and make it more affordable and make it so that everybody could use this so that it's better and it's a primary imaging modality. That was my goal. And so today, even, every time we say CT, and it is technically CT, but I sort of push back on that now, because what everybody thinks of as CT, that's not what we're doing. What we've done is we've created a primary imaging modality. And I know, Michael, you've seen it and been exposed to it, and that's why you're excited about it too. Yeah. It changes the game. And I know that's a cliche to say it's a game changer, but it really is a game changer.
I totally agree. And it's so funny because I think your history has so much to do with where you are now. It's interesting that the snake story was hilarious, but it got you into the profession. And I think the fact that you have that business sense, like you're thinking of not only the technology, but how it can apply and be practical. And I think that all these different backgrounds that you have really come into play. And you understated a lot, because to me, digital radiography in veterinary medicine was a game changer itself. I think that the resolution of the digital radiographs, and then now we're experiencing that with our dentistries. I think that there's still a few of you out there not doing digital dental x-rays, but the digital dental x-rays, again, these are game-changing modalities. And then when you said that I'm excited about your product, absolutely, because I know I've seen the images. I know that this is like that step above that. And it really puts it in perspective for me. And I have to correct myself. You're absolutely right. It's not a CT scan. It's because, as you say, the CT doesn't give us a beautiful 3D rendered model and of real time of what's going on. And, and again, for our viewing and listening audience, I've seen the final results, and they're pretty astounding. That when I say it's a game-changing technology, and we'll get into this, is that you'll be able to see things that you've never seen before. What you've got here, I think that your system is just even that much more.